At first, Tom thought it might be a discarded piece of electronics, but upon closer inspection, he realized that it was far more complicated than that. Tom was curious, but also a bit frightened. The police arrived quickly, and once they saw that device, they said this can't be true. Tom had no idea the police would come with so many officers. But what was the strange device Tom found? Who was the owner? And why did the police have to get involved? But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Tom had no idea what he was holding in his hand at the moment. He looked around to see if anybody was checking either their pockets or the ground. Seeing as apparently nobody was missing this object yet, Tom took the chance to inspect it a bit more closely. He had never seen anything like this before. Confused but very interested, he put the device in his backpack with the intention of taking it home. But moments later, Tom's resolve would be very much tested. He had only steps away from where he found the device when he suddenly saw a man approach in the distance. He was walking with quite some pace in his step, looking everywhere on the ground, talking to everybody he passed, and Tom could clearly hear what he was asking of them. "Have you maybe seen a small black device?" The man was quickly coming closer to Tom, and he was trying to act as naturally as possible. When he first picked up the device, he was very willing to immediately give it back to the rightful owner. And this man clearly was that person. He knew that if he were to give this device back, he would never see it again and probably not learn anything about it. He could ask the man when he returned it to him, but there was a good chance that the man would not tell him anything. Tom was not willing to accept this possibility, and so he had to lie to the man. But he had no other choice than to accept Tom's story. But he did not want to leave it at that. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a business card. He gave it to Tom and asked him if he did come across his device, to give him a call. It was really important that he found it again, and it didn't fall into the wrong hands. He was even willing to pay a reward. Tom just nodded and smiled, hoping that the man would move on now. Tom quickly put the business card in the pocket and started to continue on his way. He quickly back to his house. Tom quickly locked himself in his office when he got home. He did not need his wife Monica to know what he was up to. He put the device on the table in front of him and now needed to decide how he was going to handle this. Tom stared at the device on his table, his curiosity piqued. It was small, sleek, and unlike anything he'd ever seen. The device was a riddle, wrapped in a mystery, encased in a sleek, metallic exterior. He realized he might never uncover its secrets on his own, but giving up was not in his nature. He needed a new approach, a fresh perspective. Perhaps it was time to seek outside help. Days blurred as Tom neglected his responsibilities, occasionally, but even her words became distant echoes, secondary to his quest. Monica's patience started wearing thin. "You're always locked away in here," she'd say, her voice laced with concern and frustration. The business card lay on his desk, a gateway to resolution. Tom picked it up several times, dialing half the number before hanging up. Calling the owner seemed like the right thing to do, yet he hesitated. He yearned to unravel the device's mysteries himself. What if the device was dangerous or illegal? Throughout the night, Tom tossed and turned, the image of the device burning behind his closed eyelids. By dawn, his decision was made. He couldn't shoulder this burden alone anymore. The police could help, or so he hoped. He dialed the local police station, his voice faltering as he reported the strange device. "I found something. Unusual," he explained, trying to sound calm. He described the device as best as he could, omitting his own obsession with it. The dispatcher's tone changed, suddenly serious, as they promised to send officers immediately. After the call, a new wave of doubt and fear washed over Tom. What if the device was more dangerous than he had imagined? The sound of sirens jolted Tom from his anxious reverie. He peeked out the window and saw several police cars pulling up with urgency. Officers quickly disembarked, their expressions serious and focused. Tom opened the door, his heart racing as he faced the team of serious-faced officers. "We need to see the device immediately," one officer stated firmly, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. As the officers examined the device and whispered among themselves, the gravity of the situation dawned on Tom. Tom provided all the information he could, cooperating fully despite his growing unease. He recounted how he found the device, his attempts to open it, and his decision to keep it. As Tom recounted his story, an officer abruptly instructed him to turn around and place his hands behind his back. Confusion and fear collided within him as handcuffs clicked around his wrists. "You're being detained for further questioning," the officer stated. In a small interrogation room, Tom faced the unrelenting gaze of the questioning officers. He reiterated his story, emphasizing his innocence. Remembering the business card, Tom fumbled in his pocket and presented it to the officers. "The man who lost it gave me this," he explained. He described the man's anxious demeanor and urgency in seeking the device. The officer's interest piqued, jotting down every detail. Based on Tom's description and the business card, the police were able to track down the man who had lost the device. They apprehended him shortly thereafter, unraveling the beginnings of a broader narrative in which the device played a central role. An officer entered, his expression revealing a shift in the investigation. This revelation brought a new perspective to Tom's involvement. As the officer explained the latest developments, a glimmer of hope sparked within Tom. His role in this saga might be nearing its end. Despite the new treasures, Tom remained in detention, a silent observer to the investigation's momentum. Tom's future, once clear and predictable, was now mired in uncertainty. He thought of his wife, his job, his reputation, all potentially jeopardized by this unforeseen ordeal. An officer entered Tom's cell with a grave expression. "The device you found is a stolen military USB drive," he revealed. Tom's heart sank. The word stolen and military echoed in his head, amplifying the seriousness of his situation. He felt a chill run down his spine as he realized the device he had found on a whim was at the center of a national security breach. The officer continued, explaining the device's advanced security system. "It's designed to be accessed only by authorized personnel," he said. Tom listened, fascinated despite his predicament. The device's sleek design masked a complex, high-tech security system far beyond anything Tom had imagined. As the officer elaborated on the device's significance, Tom grasped the full gravity of the situation. Keeping the device, an act he initially saw as harmless curiosity, was now a matter of national concern. The USB drive contains confidential military codes, the officer added. Tom's mind reeled at the revelation. The innocuous device he had been so eager to explore was a vessel of top-secret information, a key to classified military operations. The potential damage it could cause if misused was immense. He felt a growing sense of responsibility for his unintended role in this precarious situation. The weight of the truth brought a new clarity to Tom. He realized the importance of honesty and the potential dangers of unbridled curiosity. The same officer who had revealed the device's nature now returned with news that shifted everything. He explained how the real perpetrator had been apprehended and the device's critical role in a larger security issue. Tom listened, a tumult of emotions within him. Relief washed over him, yet it was tinged with the weight of what he had learned. The moment Tom stepped out of the police station, the air felt different, freer, lighter. He was free, the shadow of suspicion lifted. Yet, as he walked, his steps were hesitant, reflective. The joy of release was intermingled with disbelief at how quickly his life had turned upside down and then righted itself again. He realized the importance of transparency, of respecting boundaries, as beyond his understanding. His journey with the mysterious device had taught him that some truths were better left unexplored, and integrity was more valuable than curiosity. The experience left Tom with a new perspective on life. He realized was a delicate balance between curiosity and responsibility.